What's up, everyone? Aaron Schatz here, Editor-in-Chief of ASE Publishing. Oh wait, this is my personal channel. This one's going to be a slightly different type of thing than I have on ASE Labs. So as you know, ASE Labs is a review publication. We do all video reviews, we do unboxings there. This is for my personal channel. This is more of a stream of conscience type of video series that I want to do. Basically, what I'm using, what things I've run into in the week or however many days I'm going to post this in. So let's just get started right into this thing. There's a couple of issues I actually want to go over. Number one, I've been using a bunch of D-Link DCS-936L cameras. I have an NVR set up in one of my parents' stores, and I used a couple of those cameras. And I have a camera in my parents' house that's a 936L, and I have a camera in my house that's a 936L, all hooked up on NVRs. And the reason I'm using the L series of camera is because the newer LH series of cameras does not work with an NVR, and I put in a feature request, so hopefully the LH series will eventually be able to be used with an NVR. Doesn't right now, which is unfortunate. By the way, if you haven't checked that review out, I'll put a link in the description below for the review of the 8300 LH that I did a review on in ASE Labs, so check that out. Regardless, I've noticed a lot of connectivity issues with the later firmware on the 936L itself. So if you have, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. There's one other thing. When I was setting up the 936L on my parents' house, and then I had to reset one up here and at the store, the admin interface actually is broken. If you actually visit the admin interface via IP address of the camera and you don't use a browser that it thinks is correct, it gives you a red warning and just completely dies. I'm going to show you a way around that right now. So if you ran into this issue, here's how to fix it. Let's go check it out. Let's just say you have a 936L that you recently bought, and you go to actually the admin interface via IP of the camera, and you see this problem right here. The browser you're using, blah, 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 blah. So I saw this and I'm like, wait a second, this used to work even on Firefox on Linux. Sure, the video stream might have not shown on the browser, but this definitely worked on the admin interface. What is the problem? So I started digging around. Let's see what happens here. We got a whole bunch of this gobbledygook JavaScript that looks like they just threw in and didn't really test that well. Well, it does all these checks and it says, okay, what is this stuff doing? Init, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's clean. What do we do here? We're going to navigate somewhere else. And it looks like what we're navigating is here, the language plus liveview.cgi. So I was like, okay, so let's just try this. Eng for English, and then liveview with a capital V .cgi. Bam! I already put in the username and password before, but there you go. So now you can get right back to the admin interface. Again, I think this is a bug, and it just was improperly tested. So if you actually have a 936L that you need to get into the admin interface of the camera, that's how you do it if it's actually giving you that red text of death. Unfortunate, because I think that they're trying to retire this camera, and I think it's got connection issues, but it is what it is. That's how you get into it, so I hope that helped you. All the other issues aside, the problem that I'm having with these cameras right now is that the connection is relatively unstable, and I don't know if it's due to the networks I have, but it's happening in 3 separate places. So again, I'd be curious if you also have a 936L, if you're seeing connectivity issues. It's not just the connection with the NVR, it's also the connection itself, like to the D-Link service itself. So if you actually view the camera, it actually is just not there. I don't know what it is, I don't know why it's happening, but I think it's one of the later firmwares that literally like kind of bonked the camera. So that's kind of unfortunate. I've already asked D-Link about it, so hopefully they will look into it and see. Again, it's an older series of cameras, so they're trying to push everybody to the newer ones, but the L series is the only ones that work with NVRs in their consumer line right now, so that's what I'm using. However, I will say this, I haven't noticed a problem in any of the other L series of cameras that I have. The 2530, the 2630, and the likes, never had a problem with those. So if you still want to get one of those cameras, go ahead and get those slightly more expensive cameras in the L series. They actually still work just fine. I'll give you an update for ASE Labs too. I'm actually in process of reviewing the D-Link cover mesh network system. So there's been some updates to that, which I'll cover on here right now. Cover, and then the system is called, never mind, it's fine. The actual one that I have seems to have a problem with one of the actual mesh nodes itself. So D-Link is actually going to send another system, and I'm going to send this one back. So that's why that review is going to take a little time. The actual working 2 nodes, though, once you have a mesh network, it's great. I love mesh networks. So once that gets all sorted out, we'll figure out what's going on. So it's probably just, these things happen. You get a bad product, so return and replace it. So hopefully that's just it. Let you know in the actual full review when that comes out. But that brings me to this little guy right here, this TP-Link 5-port gigabit switch. And you might be saying to yourself, wait, if you have a mesh network, why are you having this gigabit switch that's wired? Because I'm replacing a lot of the networking equipment I have in my house right now. I've been using an 8-port gigabit switch from TP-Link in my ceiling up here, like literally I'm pointing at it right now, for like 8 years, and it's never had a problem. So I had a, one of those 4-port routers that the mesh network points don't really support anymore. So if you actually do this, you'll get one connection if you plug it into the WAN port, and you get one network connection. I needed 3 additional things right near it. So that's where this guy comes in, and it's been working great ever since I put it in. I mean, this kind of stuff has been done, and it should just work fine, and it does. Plus, I think it was like $20 or $25, so it really can't go wrong if you need something wired right next to you. Always get a switch, and if you can get gigabit or higher, I looked at getting like the 2.5 or 5 gigabit switches, and they were just astronomically priced, so I was like, forget that. Let's move on. What else am I using this week? Well, as you can see, I've replaced my Google Home, this little guy, or this big guy I should say, with the Lenovo Smart Home Hub. I don't even know what they call it. The display, the 8-inch one. So Best Buy had it on sale a few weeks ago. So I got around to actually putting it in there, and it's actually quite interesting. I'll actually go into that in a later one, but let's just say that I've been using Home a lot more. And yes, I know it's kind of creepy, but it's kind of awesome too. So if you haven't had one of these things, try the Google Home Mini just to get you started. It's pretty good. So it's smaller than this guy. I also have been using the Steam controller for something that we will get into later. And yes, I think that the Steam controller is actually pretty cool for some specific games, which we'll get into later. I bought this little guy here. So one of the things that I purchased that didn't arrive yet is a OnePlus 6. Not the T, I got the OnePlus 6 because it was on sale during Black Friday. Hasn't arrived yet, but I got this case right here. So the reason I get this, I'll show you this. So I'm a big fan of holster cases. So as you can see, this little guy right here, I don't know why I keep saying this little guy, but anyway, this thing right here, you have a hard case. Imagine the OnePlus 6 was here, right? Actually, this is stupid because I have one right here. Oh, my Galaxy S8 Plus, which is going to my parents, my mom specifically. So you can see here the Galaxy S8 is right here. Not metal, a hard plastic case on the back, but really nothing in the front. Then it just drops in here, and you put it on your belt, and that's good. I like holster cases because they don't have to stick in my pocket, and that's good. So I got this one for the OnePlus 6, and hopefully it'll come soon so I can actually give it a shot. A couple of other things I purchased for work specifically, but I'm going to go over them anyway, just because we should go over them. Again, this is not a review. I'm not going to do reviews in this series, but you will hear my opinions on stuff. So that's why they're going to be focused on here. I bought this Jabra Speak 510. It's Bluetooth and USB. I'm not actually sure. So let's open this up. Basically, this is for like video conferencing, so you can actually have much better audio communication. Let's see here. Of course, I need the handy dandy opener, which I don't have. Let's see if I could I'm gonna ruin this box right now. Here it goes. There it went. Okay, here we go. We are destroying this box right now. There we go. It's probably a better way to get into this, but that's okay. Alright, here we go. Open this up. There. It's the struggle of the opening the box. The box is imploding on itself. Great. So here it is. It's got a little carrying case, right? Some literature. Probably some more literature. Yep, more literature. So we don't care about this. Now this box is getting thrown away. Great. So, let's see what we got here. And this is it. So basically you have controls for like starting and stopping a call. You have a power button. I'm pretty sure that you can actually, yep, it's Bluetooth, so you don't actually need a power. It's got a battery in it, so there you can do that. Turn it off.
To connect the Jabra Speak 510, go to the Bluetooth menu on your smartphone and select it from the list. To connect the Jabra Speak 510, go to the Bluetooth menu on your smartphone and...
Okay, now it's off. So it's got its own internal battery, so you can connect this through Bluetooth. It also has a wired USB connection here, so you can plug it into your computer. Unfortunately, it didn't have USB-C. So I actually, if you want to use this with a laptop that only has USB-C, you're going to need an adapter. So that's that. But as you can see, it does all this stuff. I'll actually give you my opinions when I start using it later. But that's that, what I bought for this. When I say adapter, let's just say you have a laptop that only has USB-C like I actually purchased. And which one I purchased, you will see in one of these videos as well. So I needed something to actually have HDMI output, but it only had USB-C, so of course I wanted an HDMI to USB-C type of adapter. And I figured if I'm going to get an adapter, I might as well get something that does USB-A as well. And this one was small enough to do some extra things. So let's just open this thing up. This is from Schatz. It was rated okay on Amazon, so I figured why not. So you can see that it is USB-C, and it gives you, it's not too big. It's pretty slim. I take a normal laptop bag anyway, so it's not going to weigh it down too much. It's not too heavy. It's not that bulky. Now they had these with Ethernet in it, and I was like, okay, that might be interesting, but then like it became really thick, and I was like, it's not really worth it. So this one provides two USB-A 3.0 and the HDMI. This is the only reason I got this was HDMI, but I figured if I was going to do this, I might as well get USB-A adapters. It also gives you the USB-C pass-through, so you can actually, let's just say you had one of those Macs that only have one USB ports, and it's only one of these guys. You can actually plug this into the Mac, and then plug your power into this thing, and not actually worry about it. So, good thing to have. I don't remember how much this is. I think it was like, it was less than $50, so nothing too crazy. I don't even remember if it was less than 50. I don't know, it wasn't too bad. This thing I think was 100, so I heard this was really good though, so I'll let you know how that is later. But yeah, so we'll give this a shot when we actually get that fancy new laptop I'm getting in, which I'll show you in a later one. So we'll come back to this stuff, but that's all the stuff I bought. Let's talk about some games that have released this week that I'm very interested in. So the first one is Egosoft's X4 Foundations. Now if you're familiar with Egosoft games, and if you actually subscribe to this channel, and I hope you do, you should hit that subscribe button. You might have seen a Let's Play from me for X Rebirth. X4 Foundations is nothing like Rebirth. Rebirth was their like attempt at making some sort of different type of game. A lot of people complained about it. I was one of them. Never liked it, didn't like the controls. I thought it was really dumbed down. I thought it didn't allow you to do everything. So the X4 takes the cue from the original X trilogy games. So that means that you could actually fly any ship you want, control a big giant empire, and all the stuff that you would expect from an Egosoft game. So they're going to be releasing a Linux version of it sooner or later, so I pre-ordered this with that in mind. I don't run Windows, so I've been waiting for the Linux version to be released. But if you run Windows, go ahead and give it a purchase. Let me know how it is. And Egosoft is a company that I'm going to support, so regardless of how like interesting the game actually is at the release, because let's face it, a lot of times Egosoft releases something and the initial game kind of needs some work. They eventually get there, but there's not too many companies, especially like a smaller developer like Egosoft, that focuses on space-based 4X games. So I think it's really important to support someone like that. So they got my money, and I will be happy when they release the Linux version of it. So X4 Foundations from Egosoft. The second game that's releasing this week is actually for the Nintendo Switch. It's Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And if you have a Switch, this is literally a must-buy. It includes every single character that they've ever included in a previous Smash game. The roster is humongous. In addition, if you pre-order, you get the Piranha Plant to play with. Yay! Regardless, if you own a Switch, this is one of those games that you have to have. It's like buying Super Mario Odyssey. even though I thought Odyssey wasn't as good as Galaxy, but that's just me. So if you have a Switch, post a comment below if you're getting the actual game, and hit me up. Let's see if we can play a game together. I think it's releasing on Friday. I already pre-ordered mine. It comes with the Piranha Plant. All right, let's do it. Third game that I'm actually going to play this week is Rocket League, and that's with this little guy right here, the Steam controller. And the reason I use a Steam controller for Rocket League is actually due to the customizability of this. So you know, Rocket League generally uses a regular controller, and you need to do a lot of things with weird buttons. So like for instance, if you wanted to boost, I forgot what boost actually is. It's one of the buttons here. But so is jump. And to me, I don't want to have jump and boost near the same thing, because then your thumb has to do that weird, like, you know, hit two buttons at once. Why would I do that when I could just have this be the throttle and then the hard press in this be the boost? It just makes total sense, right? And that's the power of the Steam controller. So if you play Rocket League, hit me up on Steam. It's called Master Aron. That's right, Master Aron is my username. It's on the screen right now. Let's play. I know this has been a pretty long episode 1 of Tech Talk with Aron. That's me. We're still getting our footing. I'm trying to post weekly content for this right now. Maybe even more than weekly. We'll see, because I do buy a lot of stuff and I use a lot of stuff and I have a lot of opinions. So if you want dedicated product reviews that attempts to be very objective, ASE Labs is where you need to go. If you want more subjective, more opinions, stick with me on this channel right now, and we'll go over stuff, even the stuff that's in progress on ASE Labs I'll tell you about. Thanks for watching, everybody. Leave a comment, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.